Good morning, everyone. This is Brad Matheny. Here is a quick little gold update for you, gold and silver. We've seen a bit of rotation yesterday, overnight and early morning to the upside. Gold has recently collapsed back down. Take a look at this gold chart, and nope, 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 over here, and really take a look here at how this excess phase peak pattern is setting up. So I tried to draw it for you in this dark red. I know I've got a lot of drawing on here. Let me get rid of some stuff. Well, let me just get rid of everything and start over. So where we're at with this, guys, is we've come up, we've hit a peak. Sorry, did that wrong. Come up, hit a peak right here, came back down, flagged right there, broke down, a little bit of support right here, broke all the way down, set up our uh okay, try that again. Something just kind of reset. Came down, set up our exhaustion phase right across this low, basically, and these lows here. So we're in the exhaustion phase. The number 3, which is here, and number 4, consolidation, and number 1, peak, and number 2, flagging. So the breakdown occurred right here, establishing the new low, moving into consolidation, which is right here. And that consolidation is likely going to lead to a further breakdown, potentially moving about 100%, which puts us around the 2710 area. When I call it 100%, I'm talking about from the flag breakdown to the low. So remember, we're talking about that same type of flag breakdown to the low, setting up right there. So this is again, and you can measure it different ways. You can measure it from the top of the flag or from this lower flag here. So if I do that, you'll see that we're looking at a roughly 2710 number. So you can see here the target zone is kind of in this area. So, given where we're at with this move, and given the fact that gold is rolling downward right now, and we still have what, 3.5 hours, 3 hours to go. I'm keeping an eye on the whole rolling downward trend channel here with gold and silver. Silver, as you can see here, this is a 2 hour chart. This is a 2 hour chart. Silver has rolled considerably downward after setting up a broader flagging formation here. You can see it very clearly through this channel and breaking down here into consolidation. I'm thinking we're going to move down into this 31 area. So I'll do this to try to show you. Moving down into this lower channel here, probably 31. It's a pretty good target for silver, and gold around 2710 is a pretty good target. Come over here, take a look at my crash index. Crash index is rolling down towards yesterday's lows. We still have quite a bit of time left. This is a 5 minute chart. Let me come into a 1 hour chart and look for some patterns here. Not really seeing much. Let me go to daily. And I mean, in theory, the excess phase peak patterns still play out here as well. But I mean, we have flagging, we have rolling, we have consolidation. We come up here, we have a little bit of flagging, breaking down into consolidation. I mean, I could highlight this, which is a very minor pattern. You can see here we roll up, we flag, we break down a little bit, reach a new high, flag, reach a new high, flag, come down here, flag out in this area, roll back down. I think we could say consolidation happened here, and we may be moving down to a very quick low before the election. So I would be cautious of recent lows on the SPY or the QQQ. Let's take a look at the QQQ. And it's holding up fairly well through consolidation and sideways consolidation. RSP moving quite a bit more downward. And this is a pretty good indication that the general market is moving downward. Remember, the S&P and the Nasdaq are indexed differently than the equal weight index. Let's take a look at IYT, transportation, big breakdown, big consolidation. You can see the flagging. I mean, it's a pretty clear pattern. This is 1 hour coming up to a peak, rolling down, flagging. Now we're in that breakdown mode. So we would be looking to try to get below this level. Try to draw a straight line. Can't seem to do it with my mouse today. So we should be cautious here, guys, of a breakdown into this level, maybe a little bit lower, moving down to that consolidation phase down here somewhere, which would probably be very similar to these lows. Again, trying to draw a straight line. So we're really got to be cautious of a breakdown here, a late day breakdown of trend. And I think that's going to be very important for all of us to understand that, the patterns, the way they're setting up, the way it looks on the markets, it looks like we're looking for a bit of a breakdown. If we don't see it today come into fruition, I really think come Monday. And again, over here on my cycle patterns, Monday is a top resistance in trending. Top resistance patterns are typically a move like this, either a V-shaped pattern or an early top rolling or a late top rolling like that. So understand that you're looking at Monday being pretty much a topping pattern, rolling downward. Either way, it rolls downward into the next day. So when we come over here and we look at the SPY cycle patterns for the election day, it is a flat down in trending, which would mean we'd have carryover back to the downside. So be aware that we kind of need to watch for this downside risk. And I really do believe that gold and silver are going to be your leaders, particularly silver. I think silver breaking downward here would be a very early indication that we have some downside risk. So watch silver right now, very close to breaking down. And again, if we get this big breakdown in silver, moving substantially lower, gold's probably going to trail a bit, but it'll probably move lower. And then we'll probably see the transports move downward and RSP move downward, which means that we'll have some pressure on the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ and the SPY. We could unwind this little move. Like, look at the NASDAQ, still fairly substantially higher. We could see this unwind very quickly. In fact, let's take a look over here at TQQQ, SQQQ. Big volume. Tech S. Tech L. I would still urge you guys to be cautious. I'm not seeing anything that stands out stupendously. I mean, yeah, there's another excess phase peak pattern. I see it. You guys should too. Peak. And again, all you got to do is look for a peak, and then a pullback, and then flagging. That's what I do. Look for a unique peak, and then a pullback, and then flagging. So here's a unique peak right here, pullback, and then flag. We flagged all the way up to a new high. So it invalidated that excess phase peak pattern right there, back to a new high. Coming through here, rallied up, didn't get to a new high, broke down. Now we're looking at that consolidation phase. So here's our breakdown into consolidation. And I see this breaking downward ahead of the election. I really do. I don't, unless something changes and we just stay sideways through this move, the big risk right now is to the downside. So I would again urge you to stay cautious, watch silver, watch how this plays out. We could just be stalling right now. This could be our base, could be our bottom, but we have this downside risk still. All I can tell you is this is where it wants to go based on this pattern. The only way it's going to invalidate this pattern right now or this pattern is it's got to come all the way back up, and I'm talking all the way back up to clear this high. That's the only way that we're going to move out of this pattern. So you either have this big move pending to the upside, which I think comes after the election, or you have this big move down here to the downside, which is pending and setting up right down. And again, same thing happening on all of these charts. So you tell me, you have your A, which is your most likely outcome here, and you have B, which is your, call it failed outcome there. So I am leaning towards A right now because B would require a more substantial move back to the upside. Going into the election, I'm not sure we're going to get it. In fact, I would kind of be surprised if we're not going to get some really weird news this weekend. So I'm going to leave you guys there. The whole purpose of this was to update you with gold and silver. I think silver is going to lead the markets, giving us a clue as to what's going on. So pay attention to silver. Okay, guys, talk to you later.